It is September 15th, 2016, and it is another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the Angry Marks Podcast Network. As always, I am Seth Draken, and on the other end is the Senior Benjamin to my Vanguard 1, Mike Poland.
And somehow I am still alive, even though I've been locked in a shed for a week.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't a week. They freed him a day before. They found him a day before, but
he's free.
Yeah. Hey, I had to be resurrected, man.
Oh, Hardys. Thank you for bringing wackiness back into professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank God. Thank you for going full Lucha Underground with this shit. Well, not full Lucha Underground. You never go full Lucha Underground.
Oh, that's that's infringement.
I know. Anyway, news. You said Rebel got released, but I have been looking and I do not see it at all.
Yeah, she got released on, I think, yesterday. And honestly, nothing of value was lost unless you want to have another horrible match with Shelly Martinez.
No. And James Storm said this, September 15th, # free agent.
So he's pretty much done.
He's pretty much done. And we have to talk about several former TNA employees.
Oh, no.
Several former TNA employees. First,
Eric Young.
First, AJ Styles.
The new WWE champion.
World Heavyweight Champion. Boy,
yes, I talked about that last night.
Oh, boy. Nice one,
oh,
TNA. Dixie, nice one. Then, as if the night couldn't continue to get... As if TNA... The week couldn't get any better. The first ever... Well, not the first ever, but the Cruiserweight Champion. Because he won the Cruiserweight Classic. And to think...
reaffirming my hatred for Josh Matthews, that's the reason he left.
No, the reason he left... The reason he left was because TNA wouldn't let... He wanted to wrestle without the mask.
I'm not a lucha guy. Let me wrestle without my mask.
Yeah, let me wrestle as TJ Perkins, not Manic or something. No, we want you to wrestle as Manic.
But it's not working.
That's not working, and Josh saying, go to the executives and quit and stuff. And sure enough, he left, got good, ended up in the freaking CWC, the Cruiserweight Classic, and beat guys like Rich Swann, Johnny Gargano, Kota Ibushi, and Grand Metalik.
You know, I mean, I see people complaining about it because, we wanted Kota and Sabre. Well, neither of those two signed.
That was why they were not in the finals.
You kind of want the guys who are signed with you that are going to be sticking around.
And Grand Metalik is not great with the English, so...
boy.
They couldn't get a guy who... Their first guy was going to be a guy who could speak the English language completely. So, yeah. And then...
Hey, quick trivia question for you.
What's that? What's the quick trivia question?
TJ Perkins is only the third person in wrestling history to hold both the WWE Cruiserweight title and the TNA X Division title. Can you name the other two?
AJ Styles.
No.
Yes.
No, he never did.
He
was in WCW for a little bit, cup of coffee, but no, he never did.
No, he didn't. He didn't hold any WWE titles.
I believe one of them was. I forget who they were. It was so long ago, man.
Oh God. Kid Cash
is one.
Oh yeah, Kid Cash held the Cruiserweight title. Oh yeah.
And I'm not sure who. I read it earlier. I can't remember who the second one was though. God.
I don't remember.
Well, you're going to get a lot of heat if you don't get this one right, Poulin.
Kid Cash and damn it, I don't remember.
You'll
time I wasn't watching.
You'll only get one night to get it.
I don't remember
X-Pac. Kid Cash and X-Pac.
Bing, 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 bing.
Oh yeah, Sean Waltman. Yeah, he was X-Division champion.
Did my clues even help at all?
No, not really.
I told you.
X Factor.
I told you if you didn't get it, you were going to get some heat.
Yeah, X-Pac heat.
And I told you you only had one night.
All right.
Isn't X-Pac heat just the fans not react, no one reacting?
Yeah. Well, actually, X-Pac heat is people saying we want
Listen to this guy.
we hate you. We want you to go. We're not booing you because.
Yeah, we're not booing you because you're the heel. We're booing you because we really just want you to go away.
Yeah. And tonight, while TNA goes on, the revelation that Eric Young is now in NXT is part of this stable called Sanity, based on the tapings tonight.
And that stable will probably win a Dusty Rhodes Classic, which is starting up at the tapings.
Well, he's the leader of it with Alexander Wolf, Sawyer Fulton, and Nikki Cross.
Which is Nikki Storm.
Yeah.
I've never seen the other two, but I know who Nikki Storm is.
So yes, congratulations, TNA. Your failure to have guys who are booked better elsewhere continues.
Yep.
You did not have a good week.
Nope.
So, anyway, let's start this show.
And we start TNA's problems. We have this show.
TNA starts off with Matt Hardy, Wheelie, talking about how it was a dark day for the House Hardy. Even though they won, they might have lost several. They might come at a cost. And he wheels out Jeff Hardy, who is injured from his brush with Janice. He's in a wheelchair. Brother Nero's in a wheelchair. So yes, to all of those who were mad that later on in the night, you missed the beginning because Brother Nero was selling the injuries and was in a wheelchair, and Hardy had to pick him up to bring him to the Lake of Restoration, or Resurrection. The Lake of Resurrection, which is the pond that Matt Hardy tried to drown Jeff Hardy in during the final deletion.
It's time for a baptism, everybody!
Yes, put him in, but at first it doesn't go exactly as planned. Because the first time he does it, 2010 heel Jeff Hardy shows up with with the bad belt and all, and a cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, we don't want that.
No, that's looking at him like, so he dunks him back in, and then Brother Nero comes up. Because yes, they still had that suit that Jeff had, that belt, which was specifically made for him. And so, yes, they had the whole suit ready for Jeff Hardy's 2010 heel somewhere. They might as well use it. Brother Nero comes back chanting obsolete and delete. And then we go to the Impact Zone where Franklin walks out to the ring.
Yep.
And JB is like, so how do you feel about ruining the Bound for Glory main event? Because he did beat up EC3 and apparently injured him.
More on that later.
And Franklin's okay with it. And he says, how about you wrestle me, JB? And JB's looking at him like, no. And he's like, that's a joke, man. But so would anyone else facing me be a joke.
Speaking of
jokes, here comes Grado. You gotta be fucking kidding me. And I am seriously, as soon as he comes out, I'm like, okay, Franklin, kill this guy. Kill him, please.
Franklin, crush.
Find your turtle shell and crush this man. Please. So Grado called JB, is like, between me and JB, because Franklin's like, I don't know what's a bigger joke, JB or you. And he's like, well, JB's a bigger joke. And JB's looking at him like, what? Because JB knows Grado's a joke. And so
everybody knows Grado's a joke.
So he comes out to prove he's no joke after what Franklin did to EC3. And, of course, calls Franklin a coward. And those fighting words, since he could say Franklin can be beaten, Franklin's like, oh, really? He beats his ass. And delivers a delightful spear on the man. Delightful. It's wonderful.
No, it's not a xylophone, though.
No, it is not a xylophone or a Latino who is actually Armenian.
Yeah, Here comes Moose.
Here comes Moose.
And they stare down, and that's
and
a
Josh
money match
like,
that TNA is not going to do at Bound for Glory.
He's like, I guess Franklin must have forgot about Moose when he said that no one could beat him. And I was like, I don't think he did. I think he looked at him and he's like, so they fight, stare down, they fight. Moose sends Franklin out of the ring, and he says, I can beat Franklin, I'm going to whoop your ass. Whoop his ass.
Even if I have to drag you back to the ring.
Yeah. So we get a tease Moose-Franklin fight tonight. No squirrel, of course, because Franklin is not a squirrel.
And then, what's that reference to?
Moose and squirrel? Moose and squirrel?
Oh, yeah.
So
Moose, squirrel, and turtle. We've got the animal kingdom.
Yes. So Aaron Rex is backstage because his match is up next.
Yeah.
And he basically says Impact is changing the game of professional wrestling, and I am like, what?
No.
Maybe
10 years ago, but no.
And then he says, yeah, unlike Drew, I don't complain. And I'm like...
Except that's why you got fired.
Except that debut promo, your shoot promo, you complained a lot in that fucking thing. So,
and, of course, the TNA marks cheer for it.
Yeah.
He's totally right, except, well, not really.
Yeah, so... Also, we get to reveal there's a Wolf Creek TV series coming to Pop TV.
Oh, boy.
Which is a horror movie, of course, in Australia. So, anyways...
Have you ever watched that, or...?
I've seen the first movie. I do not like it. I've actually seen the first two movies. I hate the first one, like the second one.
Are either of those monster crap inductions?
No, because the guy's not a monster at all. He's a killer, but he can be beaten. He's not hard to kill. Well, he's kind of hard to kill, but not in the way of you can shoot him. He's an average human being. Average killer. So, anyway, Franklin says, so Moose just came up to him. He's like, he just got here, and he's going to call me out? You know what? On your challenge, I'm a fighter, and to your challenge, I say, no.
No.
I'm not good for your health, kid.
I'm a fighter, but I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah, no, not tonight. I'm not good for your health. So, then we get Aaron Rex versus Trevor Lee. By the way, Trevor Lee gets a jobber entrance. And I freaking hate Aaron Rex's theme. Because if you're going to be somebody
Helms is out there with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Helms is not out there at all. So, yeah, Aaron Rex's theme music. It sucks.
Yes.
It's... You know, it's most of it's good, but there's the beginning to mention Damien Sandow. And I hate to say this, if you're trying to be somebody different, don't do the Damien Sandow opening. So, yeah, that sucks. Anyway, he still has his Damien Sandow gear, and then we get this Damien Sandow in the first round starts going after Trevor Lee, but then bell rings for the end of the round, and we get the whole problem to this tournament.
The judges.
No, shit's getting good, and then bell rings, you've got to take a break. Stop the action.
It takes you out of the match.
You're just like, what? Why? Why is this happening? So
that's the thing, is the 3-minute rounds are what hurts this. You can have the judges if you need them at the end, but the 3-minute rounds, if you only get 3 minutes and as it's starting to get good, they're going to ring the bell, that takes you out of everything.
Yeah, you're just like, what? So, also, Aaron Rex wins round 2-1. So, one judge is a fucking idiot. And then round 2 happens, and it don't fucking matter because Aaron Rex wins with his spitting punch, as Pope would call it. And that is a fucking horrible finish.
What was it?
Pope called it a spitting punch.
Well, a spitting punch, really?
Spinning.
Oh, a spitting punch. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So like a discus forearm, kind of.
Yeah, discus forearm kind of thing. It looks, or as these people call it, a discus elbow in my results that I have here. But
okay, now, there are a bunch of guys who have used that. That's the roaring elbow, kind of.
Here's the problem. It looked like a spinning punch, And it just came out of nowhere. It
really... was like the Terry Von Erich's Texas Tornado doing it instead of like a Chris Hero or a, Masato Tanaka.
And it didn't feel like the end of the match. It absolutely came and you're like,
huh?
And you see the pinfall and you're like, he's got a kick out of this. That's no way that. Oh, that's it? Okay. Underwhelming. So yeah, Aaron Rex wins. No point. No use in the judges. Actually, there hasn't been any use of the judges at all in this thing. First round.
Not in the first round.
No, which is spoilers for later. So JB interviews Maria Kanellis. Maria starts blabbing, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And her heel persona is so forced. It's
especially
just so...
because we know Maria's not really that way.
Oh, yeah. It's just so forced. Mike Bennett, it doesn't feel forced. Maria feels forced.
Because we've seen her in WWE, and she just comes off as a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
They're trying to force her as this bitch heel, and it's one of the many things.
So she's like, I am the greatest Knockouts champion ever. And since I don't care who's going to be, I'm going to give her a Hall of Fame induction night, since my match at Bound for Glory will overshadow the event. Even though she apparently can book this, even though, let's be honest, she doesn't have the power anymore, and they'll explain that later, but Matt Hardy goes in the woods searching for Vanguard 1. Yep. And we get the sad moment because Vanguard 1 is hanging on a tree, and he might be dead.
Vanguard 1!
Oh, no! I plead the seven deities! Revive Vanguard 1! Give him the essence I took from Brother Nero! Please! And so he prays, and the light comes, and Vanguard 1 has initiated memory sequence, including hanging out with his buddy Senior Benjamin, including Senior Benjamin beating him at chess, and Vanguard 1 being a prick and blowing away the figures, the little the pieces, and leaving as a poor sport. And so Vanguard 1 awakens, and he flies away, and Matt tells him to look for Senior Benjamin. Yes, we could not have Vanguard 1 die. No. Vanguard 1 is great. So, like clockwork, here comes Maria in the ring. With Allie, who's there with the bag. And she puts herself once again over as the greatest Knockouts champion. And everyone wants to talk about someone else. The crowd chants for Allie. And she says that it's not her. She's dumb and plain as everyone else. She's referring to Gail Kim, who none of these people give a shit about, or at some points they do, but not as much as Allie.
Allie, I can't even talk. I had the word and I can't think of it. But the face turn is coming for her.
Oh yeah, it's definitely coming for her. But absolutely, it's basically, she's overshadowing everybody. So she calls out Gail Kim. Gail comes out pissed, asks Maria who she is. Maria says she's the leader of the Knockouts division, and I'm like,
no, you're not.
No, you're not. Not anymore. Not right now. So she plays a video package, and it is all basically Maria beating up Gail, which is interesting because at the actual tapings, they showed no video at all.
They just threw that in there for some reason.
What?
They just threw that in there.
Yeah, they had to put that in there for us to see, but the regular people at Impact didn't see anything. I remember that from the tapings. That was weird. And they just guessed. So basically, she shows up, a fake Hall of Fame speech saying, Gail Kim is Maria's better than me. Done. And then gives Gail Kim a framed picture of Maria with the championship. But I always
beautiful.
Got a gift for you too, Gail, because you're the best female wrestler ever. And she's about to give it to her. Maria's not happy about this, grabs the gift, and stomps it.
And the word I was looking for earlier was telegraphing. They're telegraphing Allie's turn.
Oh, yeah, they're absolutely telegraphing it. So, Dixie Carter's like, I guess you didn't remember our talk last week, because I gotta remind you again, you're no longer the leader of the Knockouts.
Yes, I am.
And then she's like, well, I don't have to face Gail again. Gail lost. She's a loser. And they're like, Gail didn't lose. Yeah. This whole thing, which was a basic broken thing from the beginning, all leads to Dixie saying, Gail didn't lose. Well, no shit, she didn't lose. We all knew she didn't lose. She won by DQ.
Oh, God. TNA, everybody.
Yes. TNA, everybody. Fucking hell, she was going to win before Sienna interfered. This is just pointless. So, anyways, she puts Gail Kim in the gauntlet match later tonight, which they never revealed. So, congratulations, Gail. You get another shot. And then we get to something they hyped up. Something they hyped up for the week on Twitter, and it sucked. I was actually looking forward to this. It was an empty arena, exposed turnbuckle match. Originally, I thought the ropes were going to be gone, but it turned out the turnbuckles were going to be gone.
This was 5 minutes of nothing.
And the worst part of it is they got the wrong guy as face and the wrong guy as heel. This absolutely looked horrible.
That's most the one part of this whole Braxton Sutter thing is that
Sutter's beating up on Spud and acted like a complete bully through the entire thing.
My eye!
And Spud only does one moment of heelish action, he does too. He does run away, but he also kicks him low to get an advantage. Other than that, nothing. Mostly Sutter beating him up, toss him back into the turnbuckle, and then mouth first in the turnbuckle, and picks up the 1-2-3. Spud is bleeding, spitting up blood, and Sutter looks like a complete douche.
Braxton Sutter, this is a guy here that, we've seen this story done a million times where the guy's been in the business a long time and trying to make it. The problem is, it's guys that we were all invested in. No one's invested in the whole Braxton Sutter story.
You've not given us any reason to be invested in him.
He's just some guy that, he appeared on a few of these one-night-only shows that no one saw, and because guys are leaving, you need guys to fill spots, here comes Braxton Sutter.
And he had the BS thing, then he had the big... Then he broke Spud's jaw, or he had a moment where Spud turned on him, basically beat him up, because Sutter was supposed to have a match with Bale, or Ballin, or whatever. And,
which was Lince Dorado.
Yeah, who is doing better things, also. Another guy doing better things. So, Spud decided, and then it all comes, and it looks like it's good. Spud might be turn his heel, being a dick, and Sutter's being the guy who's trying to be the new guy. That all changes once Sutter accidentally busts a few teeth out of Spud's mouth.
Yes, and now you're feeling sympathy for Spud, which it shouldn't be.
And the worst part of it is, Sutter never says sorry. He never says, dude, I'm sorry, man.
It was an accident.
I didn't mean to, but it was an accident. And Spud being the dick, being like, I don't accept your apology and all that shit. No. Sutter, every chance he gets, says, oh yeah, you got braces, man. You're worried braces. And I'm just like,
you're being a dick.
You're being a dick, man. And Spud rightfully says, it's because you kicked teeth out of my mouth.
I think he even brought that up on the Extravaganza show last month that I watched.
And he basically even talked about it he did a Twitter promo, and he basically said, you not once called me to apologize for what you did. Not once. And it's just like, why is this guy a face again?
Why do I want him to beat up Spud? Spud's done nothing bad here other than maybe whip him.
He's done a few things bad, but Sutter's more in the wrong on this one.
Sutter has affected this guy's appearance.
He's caused him to have braces, and he's made fun of it. He's not like that dude.
Expect to be a babyface in this situation.
You're like, well, you have braces. And I'm like, really? Yeah, you have braces because you kicked him in the jaw, buddy.
That's the high school kid that's the mean high school bully telling some kid that he's fat.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's the mean high school kid telling him, hey, you have a cast because you caused it. And he's the one who caused it.
Or, Nelson Muntz pushing Bart off the roof or bullying Bart and something.
Bullying Bart because Bart can't play in the trampoline.
Yeah.
Because you fucking did it. God. Okay.
And now that we move on from that horrible thing.
Yeah, we gotta move on from that because that was just, So anyway, Vanguard 1 searches for Senior Benjamin and finds him tied up in a barn with Decay written in his head. Benjamin asks what took him so long, and he says, don't worry, I'll get Matt, he's on his way. And Matt looks at the structure, and in great words, he asks, hold on, I gotta get to that point, because I remember what he said, and it is great.
Something about stockade of weapons.
What decrepit erection is this?
A decrepit erection.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, decrepit erection. What is this decrepit erection doing here?
Oh, God.
What it's doing, it's basically, a house that somebody never finished. It's probably on the Hardy's property. Somebody never got finished, and it's still there, collecting dust and stuff. So
like a barn or something.
Yeah, those. If you can, you'll find those in play all the time. Anywhere that's rural, something, you'll find those places that just has been abandoned or is just there and it's never been used. And yeah, there's some on the Hardy property. They used it. Senior Benjamin's been tied up with Decay marked on his forehead. So
He's been branded.
He's been branded.
In a decrepit erection.
He's been branded and tied up at a decrepit erection. Okay, so Matt Hardy frees him. He tells him to go home and rest and stockpile some weapons because at Bound for Glory, there will be a great war.
Yep.
So Moose is interviewed backstage, and they tell him about Franklin said he's not going to fight you. He said he's bad for your health. And Moose laughs at this and says, dude, I came here first night, and I knocked him clean out, and I put him on his ass.
Yep.
So yeah, so he basically says he's still going to call him out tonight, and he says we'll see if he's champ or if he's a coward. So here comes Brother Nero, Matt Hardy, and Rebby to the ring. Jeff Hardy has face paint that says obsolete on him, so he's been branded. But Broken Matt says Decay committed blasphemy with their actions, and for that, they must be sentenced to the darkness of deletion.
Delete!
They will be deleted. So the Decay's music plays. Rosemary's up in the camera balcony, and she says, Matt, that Maxwell doesn't deserve a broken family, but a good family like Decay.
Oh.
And they will have what they want. And when they have what they want, they keep it. That's why Bram is going. When he wouldn't submit, he was destroyed. So Abyss comes out to the stage, says, these titles are beautiful, and it belongs to them. Steve comes out of the crowd and says, they are offering them their own destruction, their own decay. It's perfect. And Matt tells them to bring it. It'll just make them stronger. Brother Nero gets on the mic saying, they may be broken, but they survived. And they will render the Decay obsolete.
Obsolete.
So Matt says the Impact Zone can't hold them. So he challenges Decay to the insanity of the Great War to fight around the world.
Or from North Carolina to Florida.
There may be other places too than that, man. They're gonna do something. Abyss accepts, And Rosemary says afterwards, Maxwell will be freed of his broken family, including his obsolete uncle. By the way, there was an Uncle Nero chant at one point. His broken father and his unfit mother.
And Rebby, that sets Rebby off.
Yeah, Rebby goes to beat her up. They basically stand tall as Decay retreats.
Yeah. So the Hardys are the faces here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Decay as a heel, of course.
Yeah, the crowd kind of made the Hardys faces, kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah. So Franklin is approached by Mike Bennett, and he's like, "You're not going to let Moose talk to you like that." And Franklin's like, "You just want me to do your dirty work." And he's like, "Maybe, but Moose calls you a little bitch." And Franklin's like, "Oh, I'll take care of him. And then after I do that, I may come back and take you out." So then we get the women's gauntlet match. And here's another problem with this. Jade's number 1. Allie looks to be number 2, but Maria tells her she found a replacement for her because she's not a wrestler. I didn't know Maria could still book things.
And it's Chelsea Green with a new name.
Laurel Van Ness.
What a bad name that is.
Yes. So basically they fight. Sienna's number 3. So Sienna and Laurel double team Jade. Kabuki Taker comes out and wrecks house early, but soon Sienna and Van Ness are back in control. Martin Bell comes out. Yes, I'm still going with that.
Martin.
Yes. So she and Laurel double team Jade and argue about who gets to eliminate her. And of course,
Raquel comes out, who I forgot.
Who I'm like, wait, she's in this match?
Yeah, I was like, wait, they only have 6 women. Oh wait, there's Raquel.
And she's like, and she actually gets to hold her own for a little bit until Sienna big boots her. And then Madison Rain comes in at number 7. And then the eliminations start, and Madison Rain is first.
Oh, poor Maddie.
Poor Maddie. At least you get to go home with Josh Matthews. Oh, wait. That's a fucking crime. That's worse.
That's another loss for her.
Yeah. Martin Bell eliminates Jade.
And then Jade eliminates her.
No, actually, Laurel eliminates Martin.
And then they brawl.
So they brawl. Sienna eliminates Raquel, who takes a seriously bad bump.
Raquel should not be wrestling. Stick to being a valet for somebody.
She does not do bumps well. So Raquel grabs her on her, has her on her shoulders like a torture rack and just dumps her outside, and it does not look pretty.
And of course, we've got the 2 heels with Gail Kim to end off the match. I wonder what's going to happen here.
Yeah, first of all, Raquel should not have been the final 4. That was fucking ridiculous.
She should have been out quick.
Yeah. And then
she should have been the first out, and Madison Rain should have been in the final 4.
Yeah, or
you should have kept Allie in the match and had Allie as one of the final 4.
Yeah, so Maria gets on and orders Sienna to stop because Sienna looks to eliminate Van Ness, and then.
So if I'm Sienna, I'm like, hey, I have a chance to win. I'm going to eliminate everybody. It's every person for themselves.
Yeah. So she instructs Allie to hold down the ropes so Laurel can eliminate Gail, and Allie ain't looking, so Gail throws Allie over the top rope, reversed it, and Maria's not happy that Laurel's been eliminated, so they're actually both not happy at Allie, even though Allie did what you want, it's just the wrong person.
Of the momentum.
Yeah. So Sienna gets a little cocky and Gail reverses a really bad silencer. She goes and stops so Gail can hit her eat defeat instead. It does not look well, the whole reversal thing. Sienna looks like she just stops in the middle and then gets the eat defeat. You can do so much better with that reversal, but didn't do well here.
Gail Kim wins. She'll face Maria.
Maria's scared as shit. Gail's gonna fight Maria at Bound for Glory. Yeah. So, and then we get to our main event.
God.
Main event match. And why is this the main event match?
Because I don't know.
Oh dear God! Breaking news: Trump finally admits Obama is an American.
Who cares?
Who cares? Breaking news! Okay, we're tired of the birther thing. Anyway, Eddie Edwards versus Shera. They both get jobber entrances.
Well, that's nice.
And so, round one.
Terrible.
This is not good, yeah. There's basically not much to do. Shera uses power early, but Eddie takes control halfway. Hits a Shining Wizard. Shera kicks out. Well, actually hits his Boston Knee Party, and Shera kicks out. It's about to go for a submission move, but again, no, that happens in the second round. But Shera kicks out, so round one goes unanimously to Eddie.
Of course.
So Shera comes out aggressive, working on Eddie's ribs. Might have injured them in round one. Eddie barely has any offense, but is about to get him in a single leg Boston Crab, and the bell rings, ending this. So Shera go by split decision. One judge thought Edwards still won.
Yep.
So third round happens. Shera's still going for it, but at some point, even Pope says, why is Shera not continuing on him? And Shera lets him get back up, and Eddie is able to hit his Boston Crab, and Shera taps. So Eddie wins. That was a stupid main event match. I feel sorry for the people there.
And your main event segment is next.
Moose comes out. He's about to talk. Franklin comes out with a mic. He says, I'll fight it. Dude, this doesn't have to happen here tonight. I'm a businessman. I fight at big venues, in front of big crowds, big money.
Moose, you're fighting at the Impact Zone.
Moose. Yeah. Bound for Glory's in the Impact Zone this year, by the way, people. So, not the big crowd. It's going to be the same fucking crowd. So, they basically said, dude, let's do this at Bound for Glory.
Except
and Moose is like, you know what? Makes all the sense in the world. You're absolutely right. Big money, big crowd. We can do this, but I can't wait. So he starts attacking him, and Mike Bennett comes out. They double team Moose. EC3 runs out, and the heels get advantage for a little bit, but EC3 hits a double clothesline, and we immediately go off the air in a rather abrupt cut.
Came out and ran through Mike Bennett with a shot that he looked like he missed.
He did miss. I was told he missed. He fucking missed
Bennett
that.
Told.
Yeah. And then there was the double clothesline, which I think he might have also missed.
I didn't get that spot. My recording cut out.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. He hit the double clothesline, and then he goes like, EC3's on fire, and then it cuts out. Oops. Seriously, it's like no, it's not. I didn't watch this DVR. That's the official feed ends like that. It goes black, and the TNA logo comes up.
Abrupt.
Completely abrupt.
This show, with the exception of some of the Lashley Moose stuff and the Hardy stuff, is a D.
It's a D. It is an absolute. This is a D show.
You're 2 weeks away from your big pay-per-view of the year, and this is the kind of show you're doing 2 weeks before it.
The Grand Championship still sucks. The matches are
terrible. So bad if you didn't have the rule or the round.
This works in mixed martial arts because seriously, these guys are legit beating each other up, and you need a point where you can stop the action, and it saves some people. But in wrestling, it just feels just completely out of there, and it just doesn't work. So the crowd's like, "Oh, it's getting good." Duh.
Yeah,
3 minutes, by the way. 3 minutes. So most of you can have a 9-minute match, which is stupid.
Dude, you could have done 5-minute rounds because we know that, Drew Galloway can work for 15, 20 minutes. We know Eddie Edwards can definitely work for 15, 20 minutes.
But they're limited to 9 minutes.
You can work less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I said I was going to do something before we ended the show, and that's I'm going to try to rebook some of this mess that we have for Bound for Glory thus far. Not counting X Division, which hasn't been announced yet.
Oh, we also have to talk about the other things. This thing, the freaking empty arena match was terrible. Absolutely pissed me off to no end. It was like, this is your best shot of that. You absolutely had a great idea going into it because of this feud, and then you absolutely just whiff at the chance.
Yep.
So,
and now here's your Bound for Glory rebook. I would have Fetterman spot on the card just to maybe give him a proper end of the feud.
One more thing, that's bad. The Maria booking.
Oh God.
Maria, she's nice.
Allie is more over than your Knockouts title feud.
Yeah.
Think about that. The bumbling assistant is more over than the feud that you want people to care about.
That's true. She is.
Okay, and that's not good. This is just supposed to be your top women's feud going in Bound for Glory, and essentially the Virgil of this angle is more over.
Yes. It's more over. Virgil.
That's exactly what Allie is. She's the Virgil to Maria's DiBiase.
No. Oh, dear God. And everyone's like...
And we know what happened to Virgil. You got to push for a minute, and then nothing. Now he lives under a park bench somewhere and tries to steal money from people.
So, yeah, that didn't end well. So, yeah, and this whole gauntlet thing, Allie was the most over person in that match. And she was
not in there.
No, it's bad. They've absolutely killed their Knockouts division.
Gail Kim has killed it single-handedly. And here's what you do with Bound for Glory if they actually did this right. Gail and Maria is fine, but it's not a title feud. That's just Gail getting, Maria getting her comeuppance. Decay and Hardy's is fine because that's actually an interesting feud. Sutter and Spud is fine as a film match, somewhere in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
You get your X Division guys on, probably just, the same
Spud's got to win, by the way. Spud's got to win at this point.
Yeah. You get your X Division guys on, probably the same combination of guys that were in Slammiversary, which was the Helms Dynasty, Eddie and DJZ. Just as again a Phil guy match, which is sad considering it's the X Division. And then you have Galloway and EC3, which they were also building, but they squandered.
Yeah, they squandered it because EC3's getting the title picture, getting the world title match,
which he does not need.
Well, he kind of needs it. He kind of needs to be the one that beats Lashley. They've not been one-on-one. Well, they have, and EC3's won every time. Which
means Lashley will probably win this time. And then your maybe that's your main event, but your big, attraction match should be Lashley and Moose.
Yeah. Yeah, but you had Franklin's the which I don't gotten the belt back on and turn Drew heel.
Yeah.
Or at least have and now you have Aaron Rex versus. By the way, spoilers for people. It's going to be Aaron Rex versus Galloway in the finals.
Yeah.
This whole Impact Grand Championship thing, it's a
setup Aaron to Rex do Galloway and Rex because they didn't want to do it in a normal match.
Yeah, which is stupid.
You're sacrificing you're sacrificing Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards for the sake of, getting Rex and Drew in there on the card. So
this whole thing just, Bound for Glory really doesn't look good.
You got a couple of good things on there, but the rest of the card is just a mixed mash of stuff that could honestly be different if TNA actually knew what they were doing booking-wise.
Oh, yeah. So, with that said, do you have anything to sell?
No, do you?
Actually, I do.
What did you have to sell, Seth?
Alright, I had to sell this whole Sharknado thing that's going to be next week. I have 12 movies. I will reveal when it's time because Skype won't allow me to do it. And that's all I have to say. Miley, we are going for bed.
Good night, everybody.